was a typical Friday night for us, a group of friends in our late 20s, gathered in Mark's basement for our weekly Monopoly night. The air was thick with friendly rivalry and the sin of pizza. I, being the banker, was in charge of the game's finances, enjoying the casual banter and laughter that filled the room. As the night wore on, the mood shifted subtly. Rick, usually the most jovial among us, grew increasingly agitated, his joviality replaced by a silent brooding. Each time he landed on a property with a sky-high rent, his scowl deepened, his hands clenched into fists. We joked about it at first, but our laughter soon faded into an uneasy silence. Suddenly, Rick snapped. Without warning, he flipped the board, sending houses and hotels flying. But it wasn't just a fit of anger. He reached into his bag and pulled out a large, gleaming butcher knife, his eyes wild and unhinged. "Game's over," he growled, a twisted smile playing on his lips. Panic erupted. We scrambled to our feet, chairs toppling over, but Rick was quick. He lunged at Tom, the closest to him, and slashed wildly. Blood sprayed across the Monopoly board, staining the fake money and the little plastic pieces. Tom's screams echoed through the basement as he fell to the ground. I couldn't believe what was happening. It was like a scene from a horror movie, but this was real, terrifyingly real. Sarah, in a desperate attempt to escape, dashed towards the stairs, but Rick was faster. He grabbed her hair, yanking her back, and plunged the knife into her back. Her screams joined Tom's in a haunting chorus. Frozen in shock, I could only watch as my friends were butchered one by one. Rick was a man possessed, his movements methodical and precise. He seemed to relish the terror he was inflicting, laughing maniacally as he turned the basement into a slaughterhouse. The smell of blood and fear filled the air, overpowering the scent of pizza. I knew I had to act, to try to stop this madness. I lunged at Rick, trying to tackle him, but he was too strong. He threw me off easily, his knife flashing in the dim light as he advanced towards me. I scrambled away, my heart pounding in my chest. I had to survive, to escape and get help. But every move I made, Rick was there, toying with me like a cat with a mouse. The basement, once a place of fun and laughter, had become my own personal hell. Cornered, I could see the madness in Rick's eyes, the complete disconnect from reality. He raised the knife, ready to deliver the final blow. But at that moment, the basement door burst open. The police, alerted by one of the neighbors, stormed in, guns drawn. The next few moments were a blur. Shouts, the sound of a struggle, and then Rick was on the ground, handcuffed but still laughing. The police pulled me to safety, but it was too late for my friends. The basement was a scene of carnage, the Monopoly game a grim centerpiece. As I was led out of the house, I couldn't help but look back at the basement. The place where we had spent so many happy hours was now a crime scene, forever tainted by the horror of that night. The memory of my friends' laughter was replaced by their screams, the fun times overshadowed by a night of terror. Haunted by the events, I struggled to return to normalcy. The images of that night plagued my dreams, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the darkness that can lurk within even the closest of friends. Monopoly, once a game of friendly competition, had become a symbol of pure horror, a reminder of the night when everything changed.